Hi everybody and welcome to Hogwarts Legacy. I can hardly believe I'm saying this myself. So in this video I kind of want to address and maybe answer the question about, why am I playing this video game on my channel? My channel, Scale Speeder Game, which is known for, playing shooters, first person, third person, survival games, DayZ, PUBG, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Armour, all these hardcore things. Why am I playing this kind of video game based on some kids' books and films that seems incredibly out of character for the channel? Well, to be honest, I'm not quite sure myself. I had to think long and hard before investing the money and, most importantly, the time in Hogwarts Legacy, because obviously, if I want to create content for a game, I've got to put a lot of time in basically learning it and learning to get to know the game, and then finding the questions that I may well have that I can then answer, because I know that other people will probably have those questions as well. So the first thing I'd say is, for the last couple of months, I've definitely been thinking I wanted to play a real video game. A lot of the games I play are quite serious in terms of, they're semi-competitive shooters like PUBG or Call of Duty or Battlefield, or they're a bit simulatory like DayZ and something like Armour. Now, don't get me wrong, they're an awful lot of fun, these games, at times, but you need to concentrate quite a lot to play them, and I didn't really have anything new in my sort of video game library that I could just turn on, if you like, and so I've been looking for that. And then as soon as I saw the initial footage of Hogwarts Legacy, I was like, this looks interesting. Now, I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I'm too old. When the books came out and the films came out, I had kids by then, and yes, we did read the books, and we did watch the films, and I did go on to read all of the books. I used to read the first couple to my son, actually, when he was really young. I didn't enjoy them in the way, for example, that I enjoy something like Lord of the Rings. So, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I haven't even seen the is it the Fabulous Beasts books, the kind of latest ones. So I'm not buying it because of that, but But what did appeal to me was what looked like an incredibly immersive open world game. I mean, just look at this. In the same way that I find like DayZ immersive, and the same way that I find something like Cyberpunk 2077 immersive. We've got these big open worlds where you can wander around and kind of do what you want a lot of the time and just enjoy the ambience of what's been built in this amazing place. And I saw the footage and thought, that looks like that sort of thing. And so so I wanted to do that. The other thing was, a couple of days ago, when I was kind of deciding whether to get it or not, the initial reviews were coming out, and lots of people were saying, look, this is really, really good. And then I was thinking, well, I wouldn't mind being part of something that could be, one of the most popular games of this year, and it could almost be like a generational game, in the same way that something like, say, GTA 5 is, people will be playing this game for a long, long time. Because what that then gives me the opportunity to do with the channel is to answer lots and lots of questions about it, because as I'm playing and discovering things and thinking, well, how do you do this, I can then go, right, okay, brilliant, I can then make content about them in the same way that I do for like DayZ and PUBG and Battlefield. And in fact, can I get that thing? Do we? Yes, got another field guide. So that's cool as well. And I kind of have this nagging suspicion that I'm going to be creating videos that are things like Hogwarts Legacy versus DayZ, Hogwarts Legacy versus Cyberpunk 2077, in terms of how the game, feels when you're wandering around. Do you get that immersion when you're out and about outside the castle, or wandering around Hogsmeade, and generally playing the game in that sort of way? So far, I've got to say that I have been pretty impressed. Graphically, it's pretty amazing. The draw distances are fantastic. I'm running this on my PC, running at 1080p with DLSS on quality, with a little bit of sharpening, and I cap it at 60 frames a second because that's what I capture stuff at, and it seems to be incredibly smooth. Don't really get any frame drops. I've turned ray tracing off, and did I say that all the settings are on high? So it looks pretty good. Now I have got other things running at the same time. I've got things like I think I've got Photoshop and Vegas on in the background as well, so that's probably not the best thing. But it seems to run very, very smooth and looks very, very good. Yeah, it's very, very immersive. So there we go. So what sort of content am I going to be creating for Hogwarts Legacy? I'm not quite sure at the moment. I might do some of the basic walk around stuff. Walking around, looking around Hogsmeade and all this sort of stuff, so that if you're thinking about buying the game, you can kind of watch the videos and say, oh right, okay, this looks pretty cool. I'll obviously do like a first impressions review. I'll do a final review at some point, but hopefully I'm going to be able to answer lots of questions that people have about the game. If you enjoy DayZ, will you enjoy playing Hogwarts Legacy? If you enjoy Cyberpunk, will you enjoy playing Hogwarts Legacy? And I guess one thing I want to add as well is that on Twitter someone asked me, someone said, are you enjoying it? What do you think of the game? Doesn't it look good? And I said, yeah, it looks really good. But one of the things that I have always enjoyed about the Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling universe is that although it can be very cute and very nice and very fun, and we've got Quidditch and we've got these cute animals going on, there's always the threat of death. Your loved ones will get hurt and could die and will die, actually, in the Harry Potter books and Harry Potter films. And even in the beginning of this, there's some of that as well. And I've liked that edge, as the fact that, okay, you're in this wizarding school, but people will get hurt. And when it comes to the battles with the dark wizards and whatever we're going to come up against in this story, people will die. And I thought that's really, really good. I like that edge to it, and the combat as well. Actually, when I was watching the gameplay footage, the combat seemed to be pretty visceral. Where these wizards are Leviosoing people up into the air and smashing them down into the ground and killing them. So it's like, wow, that's pretty good. So it definitely has a more of a serious dark side. I decided to go with PC rather than Xbox or PlayStation simply because it was cheaper. Because I buy it through a key site. I got the Legacy, obviously it's Hogwarts Legacy, the deluxe version that I could play early, as you can see by the fact that I'm making this video today, for I think it was £45, which is cheaper than the normal version on Xbox or PlayStation, isn't it? So that's kind of that. Also, I'd imagine there's going to be mods fairly soon that come out for this game to add all sorts of other wonderful stuff. It would be nice to have a free cam to look around. But look at this. The only criticism I would have of the immersion so far that I've had is not being able to sit down on things. And lots of games don't bother with it. Cyberpunk doesn't bother with this. So when you see I always think if you find a bench or a chair, you should be able to sit down on it and just maybe go like into first person mode so you can just enjoy the ambience of what's happening. And also when you go up to other characters like this girl here, they should look at you, I think, and then say something. But like in Cyberpunk 2077, I'm not talking about a full conversation engine, but just them just saying, oh, hello, or leave me alone, or I'm a bit busy at the moment, or oh, you're the new guy, aren't you? Things like that. But what is also very, very cool is that this is the initial release of the game, and there hasn't been a day one patch because people are playing it early. But I would imagine that the developers are working on lots of different cool things to add into the game. We know there's no Quidditch in the game, but I would have thought there's going to be a DLC probably in the next 6 months that kind of adds it on. There we go. Look at that, the people fly along on their broomsticks. I haven't even got a broomstick yet. I've just been wandering around the castle. Look at this person with their books. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but things like that send shivers down my spine. So anyway, there we go. There's my reasons for playing Hogwarts Legacy, and the reasons for uploading this video to the channel, and probably doing quite a lot more content for Hogwarts Legacy as we go on. What do you think, though? What do you want to see about Hogwarts Legacy? Should I not be recording Hogwarts Legacy for the channel? Is it not really appropriate for a channel that's mainly involved in more serious games, survival games and shooters? Yes, I'd love to hear your thoughts. But anyway, put those in the description, in the comment section below the description below the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.